Hi everyone, it's Mike here and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today I'm going to do a first for me anyway, a project I've never done before. I've done similar but never one using a sardine tin. So that's going to be my little project for the day. I'm going to create a little bit of an assemblage inside using some of these items and a little Tim Holtz paper doll and that word Relic. I've got some waxes from Prima Finnabair that I'm going to also use. I've got some paint over here as well, which I'm going to have a crack at. So the first thing that I want to do is I've already kind of traced around the base to stick that down on there, but I want to paint this. And that's, I need two, so I also want one to go inside as well, like so. But before I do anything, I want to paint the bottom or around and the inside with black gesso. So I'll just quickly give that a shake up and then grab a painty brush. So I'll grab some black gesso. I'll do the inside first. I have gone round as well, making sure there are no sharp edges to cut myself where the lid used to be. And I'll probably do 2 coats of the black gesso, just because I don't really need to go in the middle of there, because we're not going to be you're not going to see it because it's going to have that French script, or the French newspaper bits on it. So I thought the reason for doing the sardine tin, it's one of those crafts, one of those altered art things that were very, very popular a few years ago, and it seems to have died a death a little bit. So whether people got, you know, we've done that, been there, done that, let's move on to something else, which is fine. But occasionally it's fun to revisit. What do you think? Go back and do stuff that we've done in the past but we haven't done for a while, just because. And of course there are people out there that have never done this because they're new to it, so for them these little things will be completely and utterly new, which is always fun. Right, so before we go any further, let me just blast that quickly. Oh, definitely time for a new one. Of course, do be careful when you're heating metal, because it does have a tendency to get hot. Right, so as you can see what I'm doing, I'll go off. You've already seen me start, so I'll go off and carry on with this and then give it a second coat, and I'll be back when we're ready to continue on with the next stage of the process. But it definitely all needs that second coat. All right, so that's now dry and it's cooled down as well, so I'm not burning my fingers. While I was just waiting, I just drew around it again, or just drew around the base, and I'll just do the same thing there. I realised that when I drew around that one I hadn't quite caught it straight. There we go, that's better. And then we just need a pair of scissors. Let's just cut down that piece of paper just so it's more manageable. There we go. And then what I'm going to try and do is I'm going to try and just stay just that little bit inside the line. Because when I drew around it, I'm obviously drawing around the outside of the tin. And I've got the thickness of the pencil and all that kind of thing. So we'll just try, like I said, and stay just with inside. There we go. And let's see how successful I've been with that. Near enough. Cool. So I want some matte medium. So let's see what we've got there. Matte medium and paintbrush. Okay. Give it a quick shake. Put a bit on there. But I'm also going to put some on the back of here as well. All right. We'll have a little bit of wiggle room. He says. I did say this is the first time I've ever done this kind of thing with the tin. Like I said, I've done them with shadow boxes before, but I've never attempted to do it with an actual sardine tin. Lovely. That's nice, I like that. I'll grab a wet wipe just to kind of lift that off. Alright, and before I stick the one on the inside, I want to add a bit of a kind of crackle glaze around the outside here. So I've got some crackle. Alright, just drop that paintbrush back away in there and grab another one. That one will do. Wipe off the brushes and then make sure that's dry. And then just on the outside, I'm going to add a layer of crackle glaze. So this is just a single part crackle glaze. It's not a two-parter or anything. So we don't need a base coat or a top coat, so literally we just paint it on and then leave it for about a quarter of an hour or so, and then we can add another layer of paint over the top that will then react, and hopefully, fingers crossed, it'll crackle. So hello.
Hello.
So you can just see that there.
Is it crackling?
No, because that's just the base coat.
Ah.
When I put the coat on, the colour on top, then it'll start to crackle.
Ah.
It's also, I've missed a bit.
Oh dear.
When I've been, that's okay, it'll cover with the
crackly bit.
and I can always go over with a bit of brown paint or a bit of verdigris or whatever. So, I'm going to leave that to dry for about 15 minutes or so. I can gently heat it with the heat gun if I want to. Don't want to at the moment, but I'll be back when that bit's dry. Okay, so I think the crackle glaze is dry enough. So I'm going to put some paint down on there. And I'm going to add it on quite thick. And normally I would expect to see some crackle starting to appear by now. And I do know it does work with gesso because we've done it in the past. For some reason it doesn't want to play today. That's a bit bizarre. Okay, so let's do a different tack. All right, so that explains that one. It is working, it's just the paint. It's a really cheap acrylic paint. I mean, really cheap. I think I paid less than £1 for this tube. I had the similar problem with the lime green version of this one as well. It's just not opaque enough. It's just a bit too thin, which is why it's not really worked properly. So, and I do know for a fact that the crackle does work with gesso, because we have done it in the past. But just to be on the safe side, what I'm going to do is see if I've got some black acrylic paint, and then we'll just see if we can try and rectify that. So I'll be back in 2 seconds. Okay, so I've just gone through, excuse you.
Sorry.
It's all right. So I've just gone through my paint collection. I have had a little bit of a cull with some of my paints. So this is the Deco Americana paint. And this is dark chocolate.
I love their paints.
Yes, so they are rather nice. So what I'm going to do, instead of doing the crackle, let's give it a faux rust look. So we've still got that black gesso base, and then we've got that kind of yellow, well, it called itself mustard, but right, so instead of that, so what I'm going to do now, just take a piece of kitchen towel, and I'm just going to wipe back a little bit, just to kind of create a little bit of faux rust. And it will only take it back as far as the gesso, but we've created a nice bit of grunge. So hopefully, if I hold that up, should we focus in? See if we can focus in on it. So we've not got a nice bit, yeah, look at that corroded kind of grungy look to it. Like that a lot. Okay, so I'm happier with that than I was with that horrible mustardy colour. So let's just give that a quick clean up, and then I just want to get this dried off properly. So back to the old faulty heat gun. All right, so that will do. I think I'm happy with that. Hot. Right, so just don't laugh at me. So
I'm laughing with you, but not actually laughing at you.
There, dear me. Right, let's just go around and just add a bit more grunge and distress to the back of the tin. There we go. That just helps a little, doesn't it? It just helps to sell the illusion just a little bit more. Okay, right, so now I want to, I put that away, look, and I need it. Can that disappear? There it is. So that's the piece that was in the, that I cut for the inside. So I'm just going to add a little bit of, you're not really going to see a huge amount of this. It's just one of those things that it'll be in the background that you won't really notice too much. But again, just one of those things that helps sell the illusion. I've said that a couple of times already today, haven't I? Get a bit of matte medium, there we go, just in the bottom of that tin. Squeeze it in, clean the brush off. There we go, just give it a quick dry. I'll just paint the inside of the tin with that, and then just quickly go over the back of that, and then we can just flip, just make sure we get the right way around. Not that it matters too much. It's only really going to matter to me if it was upside down. Nobody else. So that's the matte medium in there. Okay, and then again, just a quick wipe, and then we'll give that a blast with the old heat gun. That's the wrong one. Just picked up the glue gun instead. On one of those days. Hello, Mr. Nippy. Hello, darling. Hello, Mr. Bentley Bose too. They're both coming to see us. Right, while that's still cooling down, I've got some of the Art Alchemy antiquing wax from Finnabear, our friend Anna, and let's put some of that down onto there. Now I've got a little, it's a stencil brush, but I found these are really good for working in the wax and really getting it into those kind of nooks and crannies, or crooks and nannies.
Stuff behind you.
Hello, darling. You may need to have a wee wee in.
Go wee wee. Do you want to go wee wee, Nippy? Nippy, go
Right,
wee wee.
so that's that one. I'll go with the second one. So these little resin pieces, these capital stones, I bought very cheaply. There were 3 capital stones and 1 column, so you can mix and match if you wanted to. And I got them from eBay. I paid next to nothing, I think. And I just thought, you know what, they might make really interesting bits, artifacts, if you like, for a canvas. So that's, you know, and I did them and I never used them, as you do. All right, so the next one, let's just get that sepia tone off. So I'm going to just add a bit of copper to this one. There we go. basically clean the brush a little bit. Eugh. You can tell this is old. And again, I'm not going to go mad. I could have painted it with gesso first, but I'm not looking for a perfect finish. As you will see, I'm looking just for a basic coating of the copper. And I'll just pop that pencil in there just to... So I've just got something just to hold it down with. Just to kind of get it looking a bit grungy. Bristles are falling out this brush as well. So that's that one. And then we'll turn that round and give this one a blast as well with that wax. Do the top first. Yeah, I might have to hold it with my fingers, never mind. No one said this job was ever going to be clean.
Good job, really.
It's a messy job, but somebody's got to do it. There you go. So again, there's 1,000 different ways that you can decorate these little resin pieces. And just like the song, what is it, 1,000 ways to leave your lover? I believe. Right, so let's just put that to one side. Now I need to leave them just for a little bit, just so that the wax does kind of dry a little before I come back in and start adding any patina to those, but also starting to wipe back as well on the one with the sepia. Now then, if you can't get rid of wax off your mat, the easiest way to do it is to just spray some isopropyl alcohol or cheap vodka.
Expensive vodka.
Cheap vodka, or if you're in the UK, meths, which will do just the trick. Alright, so let's just bring that one back in first. I'm going to use the same cloth that I used before. This is just a piece of tissue. And I'm just going to start wiping back. And as you can see, it just leaves that wax in all the crooks and nannies, nooks and crannies. Hang on, got a bit of tissue stuck in there now. We don't want that. And then, but highlights all of the surfaces, if you like. Leave that for a second. Right, so, in fact, let me just leave those for a bit longer because they might just need a few more minutes. And in the meantime, I'm going to switch on my glue gun because we are going to need this warming up.
I'm going nowhere near a glue gun.
No, we've both burnt our fingers the last couple of times we've used these, haven't we?
Yes.
Big styly.
Big styly indeed.
So back in a few minutes. Okay, so while the glue gun is warming up a little bit, let's just grab some of that patina. And then I'm just going to come in with that brush. I'm not going to cover all of it because it's not needed. And then just a little and then then while we've got that on the outside, just add a little bit on the tin edges. So again, it just helps a little. Just to kind of sell that illusion. I know I keep saying it, but it does, because that's what it's all about, really. Okay, I've just realised that I hadn't actually, this isn't actually warming up at all. So I think I may have a faulty connection. It might actually not be that plug after all. Anyway, right, so while that's warming up and they're drying, let's come back onto our little character. So I've got some Faber-Castell pit pens, and I just want to add just a hint of colour, almost like it's just been tinted. Actually, that's not very strong, that blue. Let's come in with a different one. That's better. Let's just tint that up a little. Now, if you don't know, if you're new to the Faber-Castell pit pens, they are India ink, which basically means that while they're wet you can manoeuvre them, but once they're dry they're permanent. Now normally I would use this and have maybe like a cotton bud to hand, just so I can manoeuvre the colour. But as we're currently packing up in readiness to move house, they're all packed up. Okay, so we've got blue shirt there, blue suit I should say. I'm just going to come back over his hands, because even though they are permanent, you can kind of remove the colour just by adding another colour on top, and then kind of removing that. So let's give him a yellow tie, and then I can come in with more of a flesh tone. Caucasian flesh tone, obviously. Because obviously you can tell his ethnicity from the photograph. There we go. And then we'll just paint his straw hat. Just to match his tie. There we go. That's better. Now, hopefully, we should be ready to start assembling our assemblage. Okay, let's just see. Yes, we are ready. Okie dokie, so we'll start off with this small piece here, and I'm not putting a load of glue on it. And that's going to go right down in there. And then the next piece is going to go on top of that one. Like so. And then the big cog stick that up towards the top, and then the smaller one. So this hot glue gun is very hot, and like Ian was saying earlier, yeah, we've both come a real cropper with this one. All right, so now I want to stick the, no I don't, right, I'll just hold on for that for a second. We need to distress that a bit, don't we, before anything. All right, let's just add a bit of distress ink over the top of that one and then give it a rub just to kind of blend it. Now we can add some glue. Right, so that's going to go down at the bottom. Now hopefully, did we catch? Yes, we did catch it. That's fine. Maybe need a little bit more. Right, don't worry about the strings because you can just heat them and they'll disappear. So let's put a decent sized blob of that glue down there then. And then that's it. That's more like it. Lovely. And then our little chappy, put a blob on there and a blob on there. And then he's going to sit typical. There we go. All his strings. Like I said, you can just heat those away. And push it up just a tad. So when you just put the heat gun on, all those strings just disappear. There we go. That's more like it. And then just to finish off, I'm going to add a little blob of glue just to the bottom of this chest piece. So you get that in the middle. And then we've got two little bun feet here. So I'm going to put a blob of glue there. And then a blob of glue there. And then pick up the tin. And then just position those. Because it's a sardine tin, it's not straight. Are you talking to yourself down there?
I am, I'm sorry. I do trunter away.
I know you do. There we go. Now it stands up. There we go. That was a bit of fun. For me, at least. I hope you enjoyed watching me create this too. This little relic shrine. This little assemblage just out of an old sardine tin. A bit of fun for a Tuesday afternoon. Can't say fairer than that. So I hope you've enjoyed watching me create this little project. If you have, please remember to give the video a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel already, you can do so by clicking the button at the end of the video. That's all from me for now. I've just got the epic task of cleaning up. I'll see you all again real soon. Bye for now. I'd like to say a huge thank you to all of my angels, because without you, these videos would not be possible. And don't forget, you can access your exclusive angel-only content over on my website. There's a link in the description area below. Thank you.